Last year, I let go of a personal training client that was paying me $36,000 a year. Now, the reason that I let him go was very simple, because he wanted to go and he expressed that. Now, I had every right to charge him another $4,000 for another month because that's my cancellation policy. Had a chat with him about it, understood where he was coming from, and I decided not to charge that because that would have meant him staying on for another month as well when he wasn't in the right headspace for it. And for me, the number one priority is really people and relationships and serving God with my business. Having that integrity and having money being made in the right way is more important than just the desire for more and more and more money. And that was really important. That was a big part of just our process being exemplified and us maintaining that integrity. It does say in the Bible that money obtained through unintegral means is no good to you. And in your most dire of days, it will be taken from you. And at the end of days, you will be a fool. That's essentially what it says. That's obviously just a biblical backing for why I chose to do that. But at the time, someone paying you $700 a week is a big deal, especially most personal trainers don't have any clients that are willing to do that for them. And that's a huge chunk of their money there. And having that foundation and also being savvy business-wise, having the online side of things as well is what I was doing. So I was doing online coaching with him as well as some face-to-face sessions. And I was also, and still am, doing my online coaching. And that was also my segue into focusing on online coaching. It was like I'd been asking for a sign to take things more online, and that was it. Then I haven't done any face-to-face training since then. So it was basically like, you ask, God provides. And sometimes you might be like, oh, money, but it's like, you did ask for this. And yeah, things have been really good still. The point of not keeping him on for another month when I could have was, I want to have a strong team of people who want to be there. And if you're not in the right headspace, if we talk and I make an exception to my end of payment side of things, it's for good reason and for the reason of making sure that I preserve the integrity of my team. My coaching team is in the clientele that I have by preserving and maintaining my integrity. So if I'm at my best, that means my team will be at my best. And if I'm forcing people to be around that don't want to be around, then there's not too much point, because it really just makes me worse. It detriments the quality of the coaching I'm going to give to all of my other online clients, and that's not fair. It's going to detriment how I show up as a husband for my wife, as a leader to her brother-in-law and the rest of my team, all of that side of things. It detriments you, and then it detriments others. And that would have been a detriment if I had that love of money. The love of money is the root of all evil. So in that sense, it was really important to be able to let go and understand that the money that needs to come will come. Because when it's the right time for you to make more, you will make more, as long as you're putting in that effort and not just going, God, give me, hand out, now, on my time. You trust His timeline, and then it's all gravy, baby. Everything falls into place exactly when it should, even if we can't see that for ourselves. Yeah. It is important to note that was the exception. It's not like, there are a couple of people I did that with within a span of a couple of months. Like, there were 2 exceptions that I made. So I had a chat with my wife, Yana, and we made sure, okay, I'm not making this exception all the time, because then there's no point in having that policy in the agreement in the first place. And I just made sure it's for the right people. So I stand by that decision to make that exception for those 2 lads. And it's important to have that because your word is your bond. It is important. That is your integrity. That's in the agreement. It is at our discretion to charge that. And more often than not, it's the right thing to do. And everyone's cool with it because it's there. I explain that. They sign on to that. And it's all gravy. We have our contracts, all of that side of things. So if you're looking to go into business, make sure you sort out your contracts and have all of that side of things. Set the expectations from the beginning. And I haven't worked with him since. That's all gravy. It is what it is. It's just very important for doing that side of things because we still have a thriving online coaching business. It has continued to thrive and grow since then. And that is also why it's really important to have a diversified income, but not in the sense where everyone's like, oh, stocks, this or that. I mean, yeah, but a diversified skill set. So we specialize in that. We have the online coaching. We have that side of things. Yana's got her business. We have PT mentoring and that as well. So within one thing, we have some diversity with the people that we coach in that sense as well. It's still a coaching business primarily that we run, but we have that diversity to basically be able to account for things like that because it's going to happen when you run your own business and you have to be prepared for that because if you are not prepared to have clients stop and then be like, okay, cool, I've got spots now, I can fill that up. You're going to be in a little bit of a pickle and it will not be good if you're not prepared for that side of things. So diversifying the income side of things is important with, I would say a diversified skill set, but that's not right. It's a skill set. It is pretty much a singular skill set that allows for a diversity of clients, and that will help a lot. That's all for this episode. Just remember to preserve that integrity. Do what is right above everything else. And if you prioritize doing the right things will happen to you at the right time. Because when you start ripping people off, getting desperate for money, even in dire circumstances, because I've had worse circumstances. We've had worse circumstances financially. At that point, we were already making $1 million a year. We've been in worse situations and still done the right thing, because the right thing takes priority over everything else. Because as soon as you start doing that, you build in your worst moments. If you choose to do that, that's who you are. You know that that's the foundation, that's the baseline that you set. You build an entire business and an entire life on being willing to rip people off and do the wrong thing and act out of integrity when it suits you. So it's really important to maintain that integrity, especially in the worst situations. That wasn't the worst situation in the world there, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, lads, I think that's important. And when you develop that kind of relationship with money, you allow money to flow in and flow out and allow yourself to have an abundance of wealth as opposed to a capped amount that you just hold on to. We've talked about it before where it's like a jar. If you put a lid on the jar, you're never letting any money out, yes, but you're never letting any money in either. And the cool thing about this magical money jar is that when you open that lid and allow money to flow in, flow out, it expands. It expands. It gets bigger and your capacity becomes larger because of that abundance side of things. So that's what I'll leave you with, lads. Keep it all gravy, baby. And I'll catch you on the flippity flip. Bye.